Welcome to relationship maintenance. Relationships require maintenance, people, just like you maintain your car and your appliances and your phone. Tonight I'm going to talk about no intimacy in your marriage or in your relationship with your significant other. And I'm talking about this because there was a man on my YouTube channel. If you go look at a video I put up recently, and I talked about sexless marriages, and it got like almost 17,000 views because clearly there's a lot of sexless marriages. And so a lot of men came on there, and one man in particular said, what do I do if I'm in a 12-year sexless marriage? So this is what I'm going to say, right? I'm never, ever, ever, ever telling anybody to get a divorce. Never. But I know that the church and church people and families will make a man feel guilty if he has decided to leave the relationship. So he's suffering in silence. And if the wife can perform, if she is not sick, right? I'm just going to take this off the table so none of the women on here could go crazy and act nuts or any of that. If the wife is not sick and this woman has decided that she is not going to have intimacy with her husband because she's just not going to. If you was my son, let's turn this question around because I don't want to tell nobody what to do. This is just my opinion on relationship maintenance right now. But if you were my son and you came to me and you said to me, my wife has decided not to have sex with me anymore. Key word here is anymore. Not she's going through a phase or we disconnected, we need some counseling. But if somebody has a marriage where there is no intimacy, a sexless marriage for 12 years, that person decided that they don't want to have sex with you no more. And if it was my son, I would tell him, you got two choices. Number one, this is what your life is going to look like. You're never going to have sex again. Or number two, you could wrap this thing up and be on your way. Now, if you could live in a marriage where this person has decided to not be intimate with you anymore, kudos to you. But if you're suffering, then you have a choice to make. So for the brother that said, what do you do in a 12-year sexless marriage? You make a decision that either this is okay with me for the rest of my life. And again, if your wife is totally healthy, and I'm not talking about she going through menopause, because menopause is not an excuse to check out of your marriage. And I'm going to keep saying that. I don't care how many women don't like it. Menopause is not an excuse to check out of your marriage. The only excuse, I was eating peanuts and I almost ate the whole bag. Only excuse, and it's not an excuse. Only reason why a person should be not sexually pleasing their husband is if they have a terminal illness, if they have a disease, if something is wrong, like if they have like Alzheimer's or if they're going through chemo. Let's be real now. Let's be really, really, really real. If they're going through an illness, we understand. But anything else, I think you get to leave if that's your decision. Should no man have to suffer in a marriage with a woman that is not willing to be intimate with him? If she has decided, now this is the key here too, brothers. Any men in here in a sexless marriage, if you want to share, I know this is kind of private, but never mind, you don't have to raise your hand. But if your wife, if you go and have this conversation, you must have this conversation. You must have this conversation. I'm sorry, y'all. It ain't like, I got teeth because it look crazy, but the peanuts is all in my mouth. But I wanted to come on tonight and address this for the fella. If you sit down and have a conversation with your wife tonight, your significant other, say, hey, we need to talk. Because it's been 2 years. I don't even know how somebody gets to 12 years. I can't even fathom that for myself. And I'm 54 years old. Brothers that's going through this now, 2 years, 3 years. Because I've talked to people who women are not sleeping with them for 2 or 3 years. And I'm like, why are you still there? Not that I'm trying to tell you to get a divorce, but why are you still there? Like, what are you doing to satisfy yourself? Brothers, sit down with her and say, listen, I don't know what this is. I understand you might be going through menopause, but I don't know. But do you plan on being intimate with me on a regular basis? Reasonably, because we are older. We 50. This is for the 40 and up crowd. So we older and we get slower. So it does slow down. But are you going to be intimate with me on a regular basis, a reasonable basis? No, and you need to tell her, if you have decided that you're not going to have sex with me no more, it's time for us to have a different conversation. Because one of two things. Either you're going to give me permission to go and fulfill my needs outside of this relationship, or I'm going to leave. Or you're going to put out. Three things. Either you're going to put out, give me permission, or I'm out of here. But the real question is, before it gets to 12 years, the real question is to sit down with your woman at year one. I can't even imagine going for a whole year with somebody laying next to me every night. Like, what is we doing? Like, you better roll over every night if possible, unless something, whatever. But if you are in a sexual drought right now with your spouse, I encourage you, if you have gone past a year, it's time to have a real conversation. It's time to get some coaching, couples coaching, some couples therapy, some pastoral care. But somebody need to have a conversation with y'all. And first y'all need to sit down together. If y'all can have the conversation by yourself, that's cool. But if you have gone without sex for 2 years, then y'all probably can't have a conversation because something has happened that broke that relationship down. So to the brother that said, what happened if you in a 12-year sexless marriage? To the brothers that's listening, I'm telling you that if the woman has decided, if she has made a conscious decision that she does not want to have sex anymore, you have every right to walk out the door. That's it. I think society has men against the ropes, and they making men think. One, most women who are in relationships, most black women are Christians. Two, most women who are Christian women in marriages use Christianity against their husband in a marriage with that, the vows say, through sickness and in health, through the good times and the bad and all of that other stuff. They use the Bible in a devious way. And men have to not care about none of that. Because they say, you took vows to be married forever and blah, blah, blah. And you deceived me because we were intimate 4 times a week. And then after we got married, you decided that you don't want to be intimate anymore. This not what I signed up for. Okay? So you are a false read, and you lied to me, and you presented yourself a certain way, and now that we're married, you think that you can withhold sex, and I just have to put up with it. And no, that's not how that goes. Because if a brother woke up one morning and said, I'm never paying my bills, I'm never paying no bills in this house again, and a woman would be like, yes, you are, or you're getting out. So I'm never going to give you any again. Okay, yes, you are, or I'm leaving, or you're getting out. But what we not going to do is play games. I'm a realist when it comes to men and women. I just keeps it real. Because if that man decided that I'm just going to sit home and I'm not going to pay no bills, you would be like, you must be out of your mind. You have lost it. So that's just like you saying to him that I'm never sleeping with you again. Because we want men to provide for us. And when they don't, that is a deal breaker. And men want wives that's going to sleep with them. they get married because they got a woman that they ain't got to be out in the streets no more doing all kind of stuff because they got their lady at home. And you just gonna decide that no, you not? That's bananas. I'm not talking about a woman that's 1 week. 1 week is nothing. You know, we go through stuff sometime. I'm talking about when your lady starts to check out, it's time to have a conversation. 1 month, we need to have a conversation like, I don't know what's going on. Is once a week bad? Once a week is not bad if that's what's good for you and your lady. Because some people are, you know, in their 50s and once a week is good for them. Like once a week, that's 4 times a month. You know, that's good for them. I'm not saying there's no set number. I'm talking about sexless marriages. Now, if you and your lady both are okay with once a week, I'm not trying to say you gotta do it. You gotta do it 5 times a week or 6 or 7, or you gotta have a standard like everybody else, and everybody's supposed to be doing it the same amount of time. Some people cool with 4 times a month. Grown people, they cool. They getting theirs. They all right. They 56, 59, whatever the case. They good. Both people have to be sexually satisfied, and sometimes once a week is good for an older couple. And there's other kinds of intimacy. If you and your lady cool, it's not a problem. I'm just seeing a lot of men on my post on my YouTube channel. And you could just go look at the comments that the men are making. And and I looked at my analytics. 85% of the viewers on that video was men. Because the title of the video is, if you're in a sexless marriage, you need to listen to this. And there's a lot of men that's going through this. But when we're talking about sexless marriages and men suffering in silence, I have a problem with that. I don't think it's fair because somebody took vows with you that you get to cut them off in any area. But we're talking about sexless marriages right now. I don't think it's fair that a person gets to behave a certain way in a relationship and then use the vows in the Bible against somebody. I'm so not for that. I'm so not for you thinking that the Bible says you can't get divorced. I'm not for none of that. If you are being any type of way where you have cut off and you think you have some type of power over another person in that relationship, that's not what we're doing. I'm sorry. My point tonight is men don't have to stay in sexless marriages, period. That's all. And a lot of people are not going to agree with me, but I'm not here for the debate. I'm here for the truth. And the sad part about it is women get to control that aspect of the relationship, unfortunately. And a lot of women get into marriages and they get to a certain time in the marriage, a certain year, and they decide that I just don't want to do it no more. And I'm talking about those women that the husband, you need to sit down, or the significant other, you need to sit down and say, is this it? You just not doing it no more? I just need an answer, yes or no. You just decided that you're not just doing it no more. Before I make a decision to leave here, I just want to be clear on the fact that you've made a decision that you're not going to be intimate with me anymore. Because somebody being in a 12-year sexless marriage is insane to me.